helpless, remember that you should have hope. Okay, and optimism over being overwhelmed. That's huge. That's huge. So be optimistic over feeling overwhelmed. And if anything, I switched up the words on the slides at the end. Being organized. So if you feel very overwhelmed, and you go, oh, I got all these showings coming up. I've got all these mailers I need to send. I got all these Popeyes I need to do. Get organized. Divide and conquer. Know geographically what you need to do with your Popeyes. Know who's looking to buy or sell first from your leads list. Okay. So start with your head, because if you don't have your right head mindset, you don't have the right head on your shoulders, you're going to go down the wrong path. And if other people can do it, you can too with that right mindset. All right. And then from there, your purpose, your why, your passion, and your get-tos. So you're gung-ho in your head and you know that life is good, business is going to be great, but then all of a sudden you're like, why am I doing what I'm doing at this very moment? Why do I plan on continuing this awesome business that I created for myself in real estate? So if we don't have a why, this why can't just be 3 letters long, right? This why has got to be generational. It's got to be legacy building. It's got to be impactful, and not just to us, not just based on what we get out of this career, but this why should be like, hey, I get to support a family. I get to give back to my community. I get to raise my grandkids. I get to support my kids going to this or doing that. That's a huge why, right? When your why is bigger than yourself, it's amazing. I know everyone personally in this room would be willing to run through a brick wall because your why is so huge. And sometimes we just got to be reminded on what our why is. We got to be reminded what we're passionate about. Why are we passionate about being real estate agents? Is it because we get to look at houses, get a shot with our friends? Or is it because we know that a generation ago, this family didn't live in this country. They lived in a shack in a refugee camp. We know that a generation ago that this family and their family lived in, maybe a different part of town. And now they've gotten to move to a part of town where they want to be. So what is your passion? What is your purpose in doing this? It's not just about the money, right? I already know everyone in this room. It's not about the money. Money comes, money goes. Spend it and use it. It's not about the money. It's about what we get to do. And speaking of what we get to do, I hear so many times, I'm not trying to out anybody, but I hear I have to go to this inspection, or I can't do this, or I have to negotiate this deal, or I have to go write an offer, or it's like a pity party, right? I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that. It's like, no, we get to do this. You know how many people are not here in this room that wish they would have got their real estate license? You know how many people in this room wish they could just, eat, hear, think, breathe, stand upright? There's a lot of people, unfortunately, that we all know that aren't with us right now. And that's what we have to remember. It's like, what do we get to do in this business? Whether we love it or not, we need to just know that it can always be worse, right? Also remember, who am I honoring? Are you honoring your parents? Are you honoring your last name? Are you honoring the friends that believe in you so much ever since grade school? Who are you glorifying? Are you glorifying your spouse in what you do? Are you glorifying your parents and how you've done it? Are you doing good? You get to do good, right? And so from there, I know how many houses did you sell? How many houses did we put under contract? Let's think about it a little different, right? Because when we think about this business from a sales mindset, it should really be more so, how many people did we help? This is a service industry. Me myself, I don't sell houses. Houses sell themselves. We just help clients make the best match, right? So we think about service, we think about the clients, and I'm preaching to the choir, right, guys? But I just wanted to really, really re-energize you guys and refocus you guys, making sure you know that not just your head is on right, but your heart and your gut is in the right place to be a real estate agent in 2025. Okay. Good things happen to good people. That's a mantra that I live by. I live by, and I'm a walking, talking example of that. There's no reason why some of us get blessed with some of the things that others would love to have, right? When I look around this room, it's because I see a room full of good people. So just remember that. We give, we give, we give, we give, we give, or we get anything in return. But that's okay, because when we get things in return, it's way more deserving than what we gave, right? So we give to get, but we never ever expect anything in return. When we give a check-in to see how someone's doing, or we give some assistance to help them out in a time of need or when they're sick or this and that. We don't say, hey, by the way, remember I helped you out and I get some of that back? No, it's going to come back automatically. We know it. That's the law of the universe, right? And then lead by example. Whether you know it or not, somebody is watching you guys. It might be a peer, it might be a child, it might be someone that's older, and we have to always, whether they know it or not, whether we know it or not, lead by example. That integrity, that honesty, that kindness, that compassion, it's on our wall, right? And so all this stuff boiled up into who we're going to be today on, or who we have been from then on. It's going to be just an amazing, amazing continuation of the foundation of what you guys have already built. Okay. Okay, now it's time to dream. So 2025, there shouldn't be any limiting beliefs. There shouldn't be anyone in this room that sells themselves short on the vision of what they see for their future. I know some of you guys had some of these limiting beliefs to where you're at prior to, you guys would be here, right? But so I guess what I'm saying is take the lid off of that even. See even bigger, dream even bigger, see even further. And I'm not talking about what, like, oh, I want a bigger this or a bigger that or a different this. No, it's really about the who. It's really about the quality versus the quantity of the what, right? And so 2025, guys, I really want you guys, if this is the only thing you take away from this year, is I want you guys to have the ability to dream and live and see the best life that you all are going to make for yourself. Okay. And I want to, I've been telling a lot of agents this one-on-one and on the phone, but I definitely want to say this to the whole room and everyone watching is there's a formula for all the things I'm talking about. So the first thing is with our eyes, we have to see the vision of what we want to have. With our minds, we got to believe that it's going to happen. Not like believe we think we can do it. No, believe without a doubt that it can happen. And then with our mouth, we have to speak what is going to happen. Not speak what's not going to happen or what, like, you know how powerful the word is? You know how powerful this vibration of my voice is? And all of a sudden when we speak into existence, I can't do that. I don't have enough buyers. This closing's going to fall apart. It's what we did. We just gave so much dang energy to something that shouldn't happen, right? And then in our heart and in our gut, we got to feel that it's going to happen. It's going to come true. But then we just can't stop there, right? We can wish upon a star all day long. But what do we got, guys? We got hands, we got feet, we got muscles, we got energy, and we got to do all that stuff to make it happen, okay? And so we got to vibrate at a high level, not a low level, 2025 and the rest of this year. And what I mean by that is Nikola Tesla said that we are all vibrational creatures, beings, right? And we're vibrational to the point we can transmit things and we can receive things. And what happens when we fill our being with things that block our transmission? Shame, guilt, hate, anger, envy, judgment. That blocks all of the transmittal and all the reception. So if you have any of those low energy words filled in your body, I need you guys to write them down and expunge them, exterminate them, do whatever you need to do, create an action plan. I'm definitely here to help you. And then from there, though, go on the flip side, like I said earlier, put in the words in your mouth, in your body that is peace, love, kindness, hope, faith, courage, strength. And all of a sudden, boom, you're going to vibrate at your highest level. And that's when life is awesome, guys. I know, because I'm looking at everyone in this room. I know you guys know what that feels like. When you're just humming along and singing every song, and the birds are flying everywhere, and the rainbow's up, and the stars are out, and the grass and the trees and the flowers smell great, and everyone's just like smiling at you because you're walking like nobody's business. Like, what's that one guy's name? Johnny Parker? I don't know. Jimmy something. But anyways, oopsie. Did I click the thing?
No, I think that was me, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, so time to dream. If others have done what you want to do, you can too. We all have the same amount of hours in a day. We all put our pants on the same way. So don't just always say, oh, woe is me, they've got this, they've got that, their last name is this, they come from here. No, if they can do it, if I can do it, you guys can all do it. So if they can do it, you guys can definitely do it. And I talked about this, I think I talked about this earlier, I might be repeating myself. but it's not a job when you love what you do. Steve Jobs actually said that. And so get your mindset right about what we get to do as real estate agents, because it is not a job. And that's why I love helping you guys, and sometimes it's 7 o'clock at a night and I'm at a baseball game or a basketball game or a football game. Sometimes it's a weekend. I don't see text message and calls from you guys 24/7 as work. I see it as I can help somebody. Somebody needs my help, right? All right, let's keep going. Okay, but before we go outside and, share our bright light and radiate on everybody out in the world. That sounded weird, radiate. I didn't mean to say it that way, but you guys know what I mean, right? We got to start with ourselves first, okay? And so we need to do a self-internal audit. Like, what is stressing you out? Is it family members? Is it some past friends? Is it, your current house that you're living in? Is it financial stuff? And we need to, for 2025, the number one thing we need to do is get rid of any type of stress, any type of just anguish that we have. Because like I said earlier, that's blocking our reception and our transmittal. And then from there, we have to feel ourselves the right way. And I wasn't going to talk about this, but when I changed my health and changed my diet, I stopped eating some of the stuff that we can get real quick from a gas station, from a fast food place. And I always thought, no, I need like some sort of just like donut or cereal or croissant sandwich or sausage or bacon for breakfast. No, I eat a banana, an apple, an orange. Now some of the guys make fun of me, and a bunch of just like nuts in the morning, and I'm full all the way to 3 or 4 o'clock. And then sometimes I just eat a small portion plate of protein and some healthy carbs, and I'm good to go. But that's not just one part of feeling ourselves the right way. The other part of feeling ourselves the right way is listening to the right things. I remember back in the day, like one of the first things Joy and I would do was just turn on Good Morning America, or go to sleep watching the local news. And is that like super awesome to feel ourselves at the first part of the morning? Politics that, economy this, politics that. No, it's totally not. So be careful what we feel ourselves from an energy, food standpoint, from an informational standpoint, definitely from a relational standpoint. We're the average of the 5 people we still associate ourselves with. And so if we're hanging around a lot of people that are just low as me, they're Eeyores, and they're just, everything's wrong, then we got to get rid of that too. We got to love deeper and love wider, guys. That's one of the most powerful forces in the universe, right, is love. And that's how organizations grow. That's how they expand. That's how they dominate, is because not only do people that they get to be customers to love them, but the employees love the leadership loves the employees. So back to you all, loving your clients, loving your colleagues, loving your partners, your vendors, okay? And I read this book a few years ago, and I've taught you guys a lot about it. It's called The Happiness Advantage. And so many people get it wrong. They think they have to be successful first, and then they'll become happy. But honestly, it's the opposite truth. You have to be happy first with whatever you have, and then you'll become successful, okay? Find hope, find meaning. So let's keep going. All right, so let's get busy. So you guys all got your handouts, right? So what we're gonna do, guys, and I try to leave some space for you guys to take some notes. So let's see here. We are down to number 5. And so let's get busy with preparing ourselves for a lot of business in 2025. And so what's your number? And the number, everyone's got a different number that they need or they want, right? And that's cool. We love supporting those numbers. Your goals are our goals. So once you figure out your numbers, though, then we got to work backwards. We got to, we just can't have a pie in the sky number and say, hey, we hope we're going to get to this number. We have to have a plan. We have to have some strategy and tactics to achieve that plan. But before that, we need to have a roadmap, right? Okay, so this is what I'm going to help you guys do. I've got an example, right? So I'm using life for somebody might cost $100,000. And life means car, your gas, your insurance, your utility bills, your mortgage, your clothes, your food, your entertainment, all that stuff. And it's not really fun to live life when you're breaking even, right, guys? Like, month to month, check to check. And that's okay. I'm not here to judge anyone in society that does that. But for you all living your best life ever and building this 2025 the way we want to build it, is I'd like to take your life financial stuff and add 50%. for some other stuff, investing, entertainment, travel, disposable income, community stuff, donation stuff. And so we're going to use this example. So let's say the number is 150,000. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to work backwards. We're going to look at year to date. We're going to look at dream net commission. And for this easy example, we're using 5,000. So every transaction that we close, we're going to net $5,000. And so that means that we, 150 divided by 5, should close 30 units. And a lot of times people, oh man, that's a big number. I don't know if I can do that. And some of you guys have already done that and then some, right? But either way, what we need to do is whatever that number is, divide it by 10. And the 10 stands for 10 months, because what we close, or what we sell, I should say, what we write contracts on in November and December, a lot of times we just run out of time and it doesn't close in that calendar year, right? But also it's back to that math, because what I see a lot of times where businesses and where agents fail to hit their goals is they think about it as an annual thing. They do what we're doing today, and they look at those, you know, your business plan, your goals in April, May, June, July, and all of a sudden, I'm a little bit behind on my goals. I got to really kick butt. And that's why a lot of people that are great at procrastinating, but awesome at acceleration, really step it in. And November, December, October are pretty strong because they're like, I'm really behind on my goal. But of course, that creates a lot of, anxiety, right? So instead of what we want to do is then we want to take that 10-month number, which is 30, and we want to take it to every month. So what I'm telling you guys is to take a year's worth of goals and shrink it down to a month, okay? And so with that being said, 3 closings. And a lot of times we as business owners, guys, we focus on the closing, and we think that's like the metric of success in our business. But that's actually, closings are what we call in business a lag indicator. What we really need to focus on are the lead indicators. What are the lead things that we did to create those lag results, right? And so this is, I'm calling this your mirror, your screen, your post numbers. Who's kind of heard me say this like umpteen times, or I told you one-on-one about this stuff? Nobody? Feel like that? Oh, Mariah, I think Mariah for sure, Tasha. But anyways, Christy, okay, awesome. So this is once you have your numbers, guys, what I'm getting at is your mirror, your bathroom mirror, right? And for that example that we just talked about, the number's 333 on your screens, whether it's your computer or your phone, 333. Print it up, post it off on your office, 333. And what that means is 3 buyer leads per month, 3 seller leads per month, 3 contracts per month. Okay, and if you do the math, 3 buyer leads plus 3 seller leads equals 6 leads. I'm taking that times a 50% conversion. Unfortunately, in our business, we don't bat 1,000%, right? And I'm hoping based on all the different types of leads that we're getting, we're going to average out 50%. The internet leads are normally like 4, 6, 7%. Open house leads are about 10%. Referral leads are normally about 75 to 80%. So you average all the different type of leads, 6 total buyer and seller leads should equal 3 contracts. Okay. And then with that being said, everyone's got a different conversion rate. Like I used to track pretty good when someone would come in and sit down and do a buyer consultation, do a listing appointment, do a build consultation with me. So I got probably 60 to 80% on that. But so everyone's different, right? If you're a little bit newer, if you've been more seasoned, maybe you're about 100%. But what I'm saying is then take your conversion ratio of the conversations, the meetings you have, and then that's how many appointments and just overall just calls you need to make to talk about buying or selling. Okay, I know I'm kind of going fast. Are we doing okay? Everyone picking up what I'm putting down? All right. And you might say, okay, you guys are from Peace, I'm crazy. 6 total leads in a month? I don't know if I can do that. I have never done that before. And that's where I have to just really make sure you guys listen up and say, you know what? If you think you can't, you're right. But if you think you can, you're totally right. And then from there, we got to break down a month. A month's only 30 days. No, it's not. A month is 16 waking hours times 30 days. And then those 16 hours, I'm hoping we're going to work at least 6, 7, 8 hours, most of those work days, right? And then within those work days, doing some prospecting, some hours of power, doing some phone calls, some emails, really pushing that needle. That's a lot of time. Like we've been sitting and talking here, for almost 40 minutes, and we've covered a lot of ground, right? So we've got plenty of time when we're intentional, when we live in the moment, when we're not focusing, we're not distracted, we're not, our mind is somewhere else. And that's one of the things too. I don't have this a part of my presentation, but just being mindful. Too many of us are not mindful when we're driving, when we're with our family members, when we're talking to clients, when we're showing a house. Be mindfully in the moment. And when I say the word mindful to my kids or kids that I talk to, what's that mean? Just think about this. Having your mind fully where you're at in the whole space and time place that you're at, right? Not in the future, not on vacation, right here, right now. Okay. So you have a lot of hours to do it. All right. So we're talking about 2024, but success leaves a lot of clues. And so what we also want to do is look back at all of our business, our best years, our best clients, our best opportunities. And where did they come from? Did it come from your mom, your dad, your childhood friend? Did it come from saying hi to somebody at the gas station or the coffee shop? Or was it, doing an awesome job marketing your listings and getting leads from it that way? Was it doing open houses or workshops or attending networking events? And so I want you guys to look at all the transactions you guys had in 2024 and identify that lead source. And then once you identify that lead source, that's when we need to make a decision. Okay, how much time did it cost me? How much money did it cost me? And what was my return on it? We call that ROI, right, guys? And so that's where we want to double down and go all in on what has brought us success. Because like I said earlier, success leads results. And why not invest in the things that work? And so I talk to agents a lot about this. So I'm paying a lot of money for Realtor.com. I'm doing a lot of mailings. I'm going to these, different networking things. And, let's put some numbers behind that and see, was that the best and highest use of your time? If yes, let's go. If no, we got to get rid of those things and leverage compound on things that work. Okay. So these, if you want to take, I'm going to share these slides, guys, but if you guys want to take a picture of these are the top 10 lead generation pillars that our agents are really maximizing their business off of. And we will definitely talk more about this as we keep going. All right. Every business, has anyone ever done a SWOT analysis of their, Seth, did you want me to go back to slide?
I got it.
You got it? Okay.
I was just taking a picture of that. Thank you.
Awesome. How are our friends online doing? Are they doing anyone chatting or asking questions? Okay. So in business and in life, actually, we should always analyze things, analyze ourselves, do an audit, right? And so what I mean by that, a SWOT analysis is like business 101. You learn that in one of your first college classes. What are my strengths? Brokerage, who's got to do some shameless promotion every once in a while, right, Lance? But strength in this room definitely is the brokerage that you guys are with. But also, I look around this room, the work ethic that you have, the drive, the determination, the discipline, your experience, your relationships. And honestly, I know you guys have way more than 4 strengths. I have 100 to 1,000 X that, right? But then also we look at our weaknesses. Do we get distracted on certain things? Is TikTok taking over our lives? Is it chatty? There's no Cathy's in this room, right? Chatty Cathy's, are they just kind of inundating us with just too many phone calls, right? Is our lack of follow through? We're great at generating leads, our marketing, our Zillow or Realtor.com is just coming down the pike left and right. But is follow through our weakness? There's certain skills, negotiation, conversion, relationship building. So we do analysis there, and then we go to opportunities. We live in America, guys, where there's a wealth of opportunities, right? So what are those? Just some of the opportunities are to set better, smarter, more specific goals, to have a better, more intentional, structured plan. The market is full of opportunities, even if the market has interest rates that go up, even if supply goes down, even if demand flatlines, right? There's still so many opportunities to pivot, right? And the economies within the opportunities within the economy. I mean, there's just so many things that we can leverage, and just kind of find these little loopholes and create things. But then also, where are our threats? And I talked about this a little bit earlier, but it's what you say. Now, how you act, what you think, that's a lot of that. What you don't do, for sure, is a threat, right? So this is where, we just really need to take a lot of like assessment, some reflection, and just be super honest with ourselves, or ask somebody to be really honest with you. And that might be your spouse, that might be your best friend. Some people, and they might say, you need to just buck it up. Ooh, you're complaining too much, you're crying too much, you're not positive, you're not able to, do the things that you need to do. You keep talking about it, but you don't do it. So have that heart-to-heart gut check, and sometimes, we gotta just, kind of best friend ourselves, right? Okay. Keep going. Oh, look at this guy. Joe's up. Lance dropped his, Lance always dropping nuggets every time I talk to him. But he found this quote, and Michelle found who actually wrote it, but I don't remember the name. So I'm going to give credit to Lance. Lance found it, and he introduced it to my life. But it's a brilliant quote. And please take a picture of this. Actually, Lance, why don't you bring your beautiful self here and take a picture and go or do that. You don't do that. But it's a simple statement. The magic and what you're looking for is in the work that you're doing. Silent, secret, raise your hand. You've ever done like that. I'll actually help myself for sure. The magic of being here and doing this class. It's in the work that we avoid, that we procrastinate, put on our to-do list. Have it written down somewhere, prioritize it. So there's so much magic right now in this room, in this life, in this community that's been untouched. But guess what? Today's a new day. So we can put down whatever we've been avoiding and put it on our to-do list. All right. So we talked about getting our head right. We talked about seeing things clearly, speaking things clearly. We talked about a lot of things. So that's the goal part. That's the dream part. That's the vision part. Now we got to really figure out the plan. And so this is a checklist of all the plans, all the things we should do with our plans to really rock it next year. So first and foremost, let's really make sure that the budget that you guys are hitting for, the numbers that you're hitting for, are legit. So go through all your financials, all your bank accounts, line up all the fixed and the variables and the estimated costs that are going to come up, add that all up. Make sure you know what your number is, right? And then, like I said, multiply that by 1.5 or whatever that cushion is to have that extra fund money, that disposable income money to be able to live the life that you guys are living, right? And then, actually, this is about the marketing plan. So back to the marketing plan. The marketing plan is, to grow your business, we got to invest in our business, right? And there's a general rule of thumb in a lot of businesses: 10% of what your gross income is should be reinvested back into your business. And some of you maybe at 150,000, that's 15,000. So maybe that doesn't quite get you like a full-time assistant, but it definitely allows you the ability to leverage a lot of different resources, a lot of different tools, technology pieces into your business. So now, with that being said, marketing is a huge driver of business, right? And so I've seen a lot of agents that are hitting some awesome, amazing numbers, and they have like a pretty modest marketing budget compared to what their gross income is. And that's because not all lead generation is equal dollar amounts, right? The internet leads, those are going to cost a little bit more than the thank you notes, the phone calls, the pop buys, the client appreciation stuff, right? So create a marketing plan, then also create a target. Sometimes some people, they don't have a defined client avatar. I really want you guys to be super specific. Like when I said earlier, like visualize, speak, and think, you can totally do that with your clients. I've seen that a lot. And so who is your ideal client? Is it your first timers? That is 30-some% of the market. Is it new construction, which is about 25% of the market? Is it investors, cash buyers, whatever it is, that's your target, right? And that's okay. Everyone's market could be totally different, right? And then from there, we create a plan based on what's worked for us in the past, based on what services you can have here at the brokerage or services out there that you can subscribe to, and then organize it. So many people just have notes upon notes upon notes upon notes, ideas upon ideas, and links and saved reels and this and that. It's like, what's the point of collecting all that information if it's not organized, right? And when I mean organized, like, okay, this is something that I want to do, I want to invest in, I want to focus on. So we ignore all the other ideas and we focus on that one thing, one thing. Okay, and then we execute. And a lot of times, guys, we just don't have enough time and energy in the day to execute all the amazing ideas we have. That's where we just really need to leverage Leverage, the word leverage means do more with less. And so what can you leverage with the dollars that you have made into things that can really help you grow and catapult your business? Okay. And then a follow-up plan. I'll tell you guys, I'm like, I remember when I was super busy as an agent, my follow-up was like not so great, right? I was not putting leads in a database, a CRM. I was not, just touching them and following up with them and communicating with them and seeing how they're doing. And what we find, guys, is a national industry of real estate agents is we got to follow up with leads at least 10 to 12 times, right? And sometimes they might say no. They really don't mean no. Sometimes you just got to identify the solution, find their hot button, and their yes. And I'm not saying hound them and solicit them. I mean, no one to cut your losses, right? But we totally need to make that list of anybody that's ever talked real estate to you. Make that list and put it in a vault so that you'll never ever lose it. And then from there, you organize that list on, hey, I want to do something this spring, or I want to do something next fall or next winter or whatever. And then you automate your stuff, right? Whether that's a search after you get EBA, of course, whether that's your campaigns, your drip campaigns. And then from there, you attack that list, guys. And I say attack in a good way, like, right, we got to be assertive with this list of people. We got to follow through with what we told them we're going to do. We're going to get ideas on what they're needing, what they're wanting. We're going to create opportunities within our network of fellow agents and people in our database. So that way we can just, have an awesome follow-up plan. Okay. And then update. And this is actually one of the things that clients either love or hate about us as real estate agents. Like we don't update them enough. We don't give them communication. Hey, I just want to let you know, set you up on that search, and I get these before I forward them over to you. And I've looked at all the ones that came this week, and none of them are great. Oh, okay, thanks for the update. Oh, hey, just want to let you know, we've been waiting for this to come back, and we don't have any updates yet. So as soon as I have one, I'll let you know. Okay, thanks for the update. Okay. Anyone want to take a picture of this before I go?
You're going to share these, right?
Yes, definitely. All right. And then systems. Real estate is awesome in the fact that we're not reinventing the wheel every time we're doing something, right? We have a system on how we schedule showings, how we do pendings and closings and all that. And so if we don't have systems for everything, then we're going to be completely always, chasing our tail, running around like a chicken with our head cut off. And sometimes people think, oh, I need a system that costs money. No, sometimes the system's a spreadsheet that you have all your step A through Z items, and you know who's doing what and what needs to be done when. And so think about the systems that you need to build. And then totally, guys, time is a system, right? Time doesn't stop, but managing time, which is kind of a, I guess an oxymoron, can't be done, but it can totally be blocked, right? It can totally have an intentional highest and best use based on the time of the day and the day of the week it is. Prospecting definitely is a system, guys. How many people have like a defined time, an hour of power in this room, that it's a system to generate leads? Awesome. I've shared this with many of you a lot, right? 8 to 10, 1 to 3. Those are great times to have a system of prospecting. Talked about checklists earlier, talked about pipelines. So the pipeline, that just doesn't need to be important with your leads. I mean, we have CT. I don't know who all's using CT, which is a business tracking product that we subscribe on your behalf. But pretty much you're having a system of a pipeline where you've got all your leads, all your active buyers, all your active listings, all your clients, all your contacts, and all that stuff, and know where they're at. And then that way you can, predict your cash flow from a health standpoint. Like, okay, I've got these leads. They're probably going to hopefully find something within 30 days, and we're going to close in 45 days. And so this looks like income for June of 2025.
What is that called?
CTE.
CTE.
Yep. And we can thank Shane for that because he found it and started using that, and then we brought it to the company. Okay. And then structures. What kind of structures do you guys need to build? And I've been doing this in front of many of you all for 14 plus years, and it kind of breaks my heart, guys, when I've been talking about databases every other training, and like, oh, I haven't built my SOI yet, my database yet, and man, we're missing the low-hanging fruit. Those are the people that know you, love you, trust you, like you, that want you to be successful, that want to work with you. And we don't have any type of structure that can be built to communicate with them, to touch them. Because I will tell you, the agents that really rock it and hit their goals, 60 to 70, 80% of their business is from their database. They cultivate those individuals, touch them at least 2 to 3 times We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Office resources, man, who here like doesn't have like a clean, like organized place to work? Because we offer offices to everybody, right? And if you don't have that, then all of a sudden that structure of your physical space, that's tough, right? Not knowing where your stuff is, not having the right printer, the right computer, the right stapler. Man, my wife or the kids, they take my stapler. I go ballistic on some. Yeah, they staple this 3-hole puncher. Carry that thing around. You guys want to see me with my 3-hole puncher? I'm always organizing things. But what other structures? Project list. You know, building a structure of how do I need to get this project done? How do I build this stealth site or this fire download or this event? You know, reporting. Back to what we were talking earlier, like the structure of reporting. How do I know how to, truly do a market analysis, an absorption report, an ROI report? And then your calendar, right, guys? All the Google tools that you guys use, that we try to help you supply is, those are all structured, right? And so it's kind of a shame when people don't use their calendars the way that calendars can be used. You can actually create times available to meet with clients instead of having to look at your every single day. I don't know if you guys all saw like Meet with Do link that I shared with you guys a few times now, but you can plug in, right, Trevor? Trevor uses it quite a bit, and you can plug in on my calendar and pick a time with me, and I don't have to tell you what times I'm available, right? And so there's so many different structures, guys, that make our job easier, so that way we can be more effective in what we do and have a better work-life balance. Okay. Let's make sure. I want to make sure I'm doing good on time because I wanted to take a break here in a little bit. Oh, guess what, guys? I'm super tired right now. All right, so this is number 12 on the sheet. So we wake up, we think about work, we think about our clients, we think about what we need to do. We grind, we go. At the end of the day, what do we got to show for it? Do we have fun? Do we laugh? Do we love? Do we sing? Do we dance? Do we hug somebody? I hope so. But if not, we got to be intentional with this stuff, right, guys? We need to celebrate the wins. We need to enjoy the moments. We need to rejoice. We have to just really, really know, like, why are we not just being awesome real estate professionals, but why are we living? Why are we humans? Why are we on this planet? Okay, so just think about, what you'd love to do. Instead of like driving by everyone else, swimming at the swimming pool or golfing on the golf courses, like that can totally be you too. You deserve time off as well. You should totally, disconnect from social media and your phone and your laptops and focus on what you want to do, your hobbies. And 2-for-1, I love like 2-for-1s. If I could do a hobby, like play pickleball with my youngest son, or do track stuff with my oldest son, or do shopping as a date with Joy, I do all that stuff. But the key thing with hobbies is what makes you happy and what do you have to have fun with it. And then from there, interests. Like I've said this in a lot of classes, we're not trees, right? We're not like planted in one place without the ability to like move and grow in a different direction. So what kind of interest, whether it's an educational thing, a spiritual thing, a civic thing, a productive thing, should we add to our life that we can grow with, And all of a sudden next year you guys say, hey, guess what? I learned how to play the guitar, or I learned how to, all of a sudden we have a concept span, right? So there's so many interests out there, guys, that we should just like become a jack or a Jill, I should say, of all trades. I'm a very worldly person. Oh, and I'm saving this totally for last. Time off. How many people? I already know everyone's going to raise their hand, so you don't even need to. But when you go on vacation, and all of a sudden, business starts to blow up. You're like, oh my goodness, I'm about to go on a plane, or I'm about to jump in the car, and all of a sudden everyone wants to do everything. Why is that? It's kind of back to that vibrational thing I was talking about, right? Aren't we so excited? Like when we know like the cruise is coming up or the resort's a few days away, and you invite your good buddy Ooh on that trip, right? And you're like, I'm just vibrating at the highest thing. All of a sudden, it's like, and you're busy, right? That's because you're happy. You're taking time off for yourself. You're doing your me time. And guess what? Every single day, guys, you should be taking some me time. I used to be like the worst at that. I used to be like, I gotta work 12 hours straight, and I'd be so like shameful of myself if I took a nap or I got tired. But no, I was way wrong. I was super wrong. So you guys got to take up. The human body wasn't meant to work, hours and hours straight. Take 15-minute breaks. That's okay. Take a nap. If anything, it will be way better after the nap. You guys talk to me about 3:30 in the afternoon after my nap. I'm on. Okay. All right, guys. So let me see. Oh, this is cool. I mean, I made this up. High vibration equals high attraction equals high achievement. Not just in business, but in life, right? When you vibrate and you attract, I mean, the world is yours. There's no lack. Oh, wait, I got one more slide. On. Oh, shoot. I thought I was doing pretty good. I got 1, 2. Oh, break time. So 1, 2 more slides. Okay, the mantra 7. This is like, I mean, like a picture or slides, but this, I said this earlier. So you got to see it with your eyes, believe it, speak it, feel it, do it with your hands and your feet. But then also these 2 things I didn't say is then you got to enjoy it and you got to be it. Okay? The mantra. And then when this all comes to fruition and you guys are just living your happy life and you got, you know, beautiful kingdom on earth and you guys are like, you know what? What's a great life when we don't get to savor it, rejoice in it, and have gratitude about it. Talked about this celebration. I think we talked about rewarding yourself. Talked about being in the moment, not the past and future. But the key thing here, if you guys, it's the only thing you remember of this slide, is the word gratitude. What if the things we weren't grateful about today are gone tomorrow? Happens a lot, right, guys? So remember, every single night, every single day when you wake up, speak your gratitude. And I have a couple different ways I like to do it. Start from the inside. I'm so grateful that I have a full head of hair. No offense to my bald friends. I'm so grateful that I can see. I have warm blood in my body. Grateful for the room that I get to be in right now, the oxygen that I get to breathe. Grateful for the energy. I'm grateful for my community. I'm grateful for the roads that were made. I'm grateful for the sky and the suns and the universe and all that stuff, right? And then sometimes you can also do gratitude from present to past or from fully from present to future. Okay. So break time. How about this, guys? Who wants to take a break? Bathroom break, 5 minutes. Can we do 5 minutes? 10 minutes. And then a break. I'm gonna drink my smoothie.
You're throwing stuff. That's not okay. Hey, how are you? What was it?
That one I do. So my brother to church. She's getting
He still comes back. Yeah, they play on Saturdays. With the intention. They play on the yeah. It's like getting into the and that's last. You were in like, yeah, so like Meksay, and I got you know, but a journey, you know, whether he's out recruiting.
All right, guys. Let's really go ahead and start the sit down. And my friend out here, the microphone is picking up your guys' comments for the people online. And so as I'm talking, just kind of be mindful that they can hear what I'm talking about. I don't know. Yeah, let's start. Let's say T minus 60 seconds. 60 seconds. Get out your so they tell those kids. Your wiggles. Yeah.
Oh, they take, do you use all yours? She did. I emailed her, she never sent me anymore. I'm done now.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I gave up my pencil, I'm pretty much out of them now.
The drive. All right, guys. Did everyone come back? No one snuck out, did they? I see it full house. One of the things, guys, we talked about being mindful and being in the moment, and one of the things for those that have done classes with me before, I always like to take pictures of the room. Is that okay? Well, actually, you know what? It's such a panoramic shot. We're gonna do a video. Hey, everybody! Everyone's so excited to be here. I'm excited to be here too. All right, thanks, guys.
We're at that midday nap time.
Yeah. Hey, guess what?
What?
Let's power up. We're gonna have the best hour of training today. Not that the last hour wasn't good, but this next hour is gonna be awesome. Okay. So power yourself up, slap your legs, pat yourself on the back. If we say we're tired, we are tired. If we say we're excited and eager and enthusiastic and ready to go, we're gonna be all those things and then some. Okay. So everyone got a handout, right? I hope. Okay, so we're really going to rely on the handouts now. I've got a few slides I'm going to show you guys, but I did my best to try to keep some space for you guys per thing to make your own notes. But then also, of course, you got the backs of the pages and things like that to add notes, right? So the whole thing that I sent out to you guys was Slingshot to Success in 2025. 25 action items that you can do to grow your business by at least 25% or close at least 25 sales. And in true form, you look on the sheet, you're like, ooh, there's more than 25. There's like 30 because I love giving bonuses. Okay. So that being said, we're going to start with number one. And number one is a build off of the last hour's worth of class. And that's set monthly goals based on your business plan. We talked about this earlier. Post that everywhere. We want those numbers to be top of mind awareness. I remember my last full year of actively selling, it was probably like 2015, 14. My numbers were 4, 4, 4. 4 new buyer leads, 4 new seller leads, and 4 contracts every 30 days. It was on my bathroom vanity mirror. I had it written up on my in my office. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So that's number one. Okay. And oh, actually, before we move on though, and I just don't want you guys to go through the motions of doing that. I want you guys to write those numbers down, speak them, and believe that you're going to do it. Believe you can do it. If other people can do it, you can too. Okay. Number two, which will be on my next tab, Michelle, is define a list of, and you know what we could do actually, if it's easier for you, we can come back to these at the end, if it's easier that way. Okay, awesome.
Just have to change that.
Okay, perfect. So number two is define a list of daily and weekly activities to do. And sometimes we forget what we need to do, right? Sometimes if it's not documented, if it's not printed off and pinned on your wall or on your desk, we're like, shoot, what was I supposed to do today, right? And that's not what we're going to do in 2025 to hit that next level of success. So what I want you guys to do, and I've given you guys 2 examples here, and I did this in the past. It's called a November Activity Challenge, which I'll also email to you guys with the slides too. But what should we be doing? And making the list based on what your goals are, based on what your highest and best use of your time, that what's brought you the most business. And that way every day you're like, okay, before I fall asleep, before I close my eyes, I didn't do 60, 45, 15, 5, 1. I need to do that. And it's 9 o'clock, and that's actually a great time to do number one. Okay. So activity, like I said, overrides anxiety, and activity is a lead indicator to the lag indicators of contracts and closings, right? If we want a lot of contracts, we want a lot of closings, but we had no activity, and we're now like aware of that, then that's shame on us, right? But if we got this all written down and we know we need to do these things every single day to get these things done, to live the type of life we want to live, then that's awesome. That's power, right? That's informational power. I'm going to tell you guys a story about Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld is known as the most financially successful comedian that the world has ever known. So successful that he goes on shows and tours, even though his show's already over. And even before his shows, he had enough content to create all those shows. Every single joke he wrote, right? And his key to success is he never wanted to break the activity chain. And what he meant by that is he had a 31 day calendar, and he put an X for every time he spent at least, I think it was like don't quote me on this exact number, but he spent like at least 2 to 3 hours writing jokes. And so did I do that? They say, so he'd say something. Did I do that on Sunday? X. Did I do that on Thursday? X. Did I do that 2 weeks later? X. And he never just wanted to break that chain, right? So these activity items, it's not really work when we love what we do and we know it's relationship building, right? So these are the things that I really want you guys to focus on. And again, you'll get a copy of this, but the activity items that are just all based on lead generation, follow-up, prospecting, things like that, okay? And some of the activity items that you might have on your personal list after I send mine is going to be created off of what we're going to talk about next, okay? Number 3, cultivate your seeds of influence and mine your database. So I changed the word a little bit. We all know it as sphere of influence, right? The SOI. But I want to kind of rephrase that S into a seed, because when we plant a seed, does it automatically grow? No. It grows when we fertilize it, when we nurture it, when we hydrate it, right? So think about every contact in your phone as a seed. And the one thing I've said a lot of times is the difference between a contact in our emails or our phones and a contract is super simple. It's a letter R, right? But that letter R can be something that we never have come to fruition because we didn't build a relationship. So contact to contract is the letter R, and that letter R stands for relationship. Okay. So with that being said, let's go back to my tab, please. My hand up. And while we're talking about that, okay, I'll give you a few things that don't need a handout or the slides, but so I always like to gamify things for you all. And so it's kind of cool when I go by your offices and I see like these handouts that I've emailed and you guys have printed them off and pinned them on your walls. But one of the handouts I've sent you guys is try to plant at least 15 seeds a day. How many people have seen that handout that I've done? And that is kind of like a simple formula for success with your database. And what that is trying to get at least 15 seeds a day. You get 5 seeds for doing a face-to-face meeting, and try to pick the people that you haven't seen for a while. If you haven't seen them for years, those are great people to start with, right? You get 4 seeds for writing a personal note to them. Hey, just saw that you're such and such graduated, or you just had a new addition to your family, or that you're this and that and this and that. That, you know, the first George Bush, he equated his success in becoming president to the fact that he wrote personal notes all the way from the time he worked in Washington, D.C. as a young man, all the way up through his Congress and Senate years. And I don't know if he was actually, can't remember which Congress or Senate, but one of those two things. But he equated the power of the personal note to becoming president, right? 3 seeds for leaving a voicemail, making a phone call, 2 seeds for, and don't quote me exactly on these seeds, I'm going off memory, but for sending someone an email message. And then I'm giving you guys a super easy 1 seed. 1 seed is just for reacting or liking a post or a comment on social media. Because when you're at, when you're sleeping at night, you're like, oh gosh, I didn't plant my 15 seeds, and it's too late to call people, too late to message them, too late to do this and do that. You just start clicking away on their social media posts. And who here loves it? Like when you get someone to love or laugh or care or like your posts. I think we all do, right? Because it releases dopamine. And so when we like seeing that from other people, guess what? They like seeing that from us too, right? That's a trick of the trade, and that's why you guys see me liking your stuff all the time. Okay, another thing is mine your database. Okay, so your database is a minefield of all kinds of nuggets, all kinds of gems. You know, who do you know in your database as you're scrolling up and down that has had a life event, that's been in their home for at least 5 to 7 years, that you know that their parents or their kids are embarking on a potential real estate transaction. And so strategically looking through, if you have 200, 2,000 people and mining them to the point where, and this is where organization is key, that you know, like, this is who I need to talk to. Man, these guys have been in our house for 14 years. They got 7 kids. Time to call, ooh, let's move, let's go, okay? And then also, remember what I said about building structures and building routines. So there's 26 letters in the alphabet, and there's 52 weeks in a year, right? I don't want you to work all 52 weeks in the year. But what I want you to do, though, is try to attack your contacts 2 weeks at a time. So starting today, right? We have 2 weeks left in November, roughly, give or take. You focus on, you go A to Z or Z to A. But anyone that has a name that starts with an A, first name or last name, because actually when you go on your phone, you know, you iPhones or Androids or whatever, I've done them on both, you go to your A's, and what you do is you just start making calls. And I will tell you guys this, it's one of the best things to do. And what you do is, and you're like, oh, what are we gonna talk about? There's all kinds of things you can talk about depending on that relationship that you have with that person. But the 4-letter word, the acronym that I've told many of you guys time and time again is FORD. Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So who wants me to have a make-believe phone call with them? I'm gonna go with my boy Chris back in the back. I'll be like, ring, ring, ring. Hey, Chris, this is Ooh, how you doing? I'm doing good, Ooh. Hey, how's family going? I haven't seen Jamie around the office for a while. She's been taking on this vacation. I'm joking, she didn't do that. And then, but I talk about family. How's the kids doing? How's Easton doing? How's the sports doing? How you guys been to the Chiefs game lately? Then we talk about occupation. How's your work doing? How's everything going? How's business? And then we talk about recreation. You doing anything fun? You going to the Chiefs game? You going, you know, doing any, I always mess up his, your martial arts. Is it Hapkido or Jiu-Jitsu? One of the two. And then you talk about dreams. You guys got anything set up to, you know, go on a trip somewhere? And that's all these calls are. And if anything too, I've added one more F. So it's FORD with an extra F at the beginning, because it's not just family. It can also be friends. Maybe it's just talking about mutual friends. Hey, have you seen or heard or talked to this person lately? And so, and the beautiful thing about this conversation is it's a two-way conversation, right? And the law of reciprocity says that, you know, you ask them about their friends and their families, and they'll do the same. You ask them about their occupation and how their work and their business is going, and they'll ask you the same. And sometimes, you know, that naturally, organically goes towards a deeper conversation. And you're that one more step closer to not just strengthening your professional or your personal relationship with them, but also your professional one as well. And then the third checklist, guys, I have is add blank contacts per week. And it's one of those things, guys, where, oh, and here's my C diagram. I'll email this to you guys. And so anytime you guys see this on someone's wall in their office, that came from my creation. And it's just, like I said, what Jerry Seinfeld earlier, is just a way to track your seeds and track your progress. Just make sure that, you know, that number one important activity of just cultivating your relationships is something that you do like clockwork. You know, past brushing your teeth, waking up, taking a shower, eating and exercising. This is one of the most important things you do for your business every single day. Okay. Oops. Hold on one second, guys. My bad. I had a slide put it in the wrong order. Oh, here we go. All right. I know you guys can't see this. This is available in the resources for agents folder in the Google Drive, but I'll definitely also add this to email because it totally relates to that third bullet down, which is add blank contacts per week. So the beautiful thing about Iowa and in Florida and the East Side, whatever, is that people are nice in the Midwest, right? People are nice in Florida. And just because we have a certain amount of relationships and contacts and friends today, doesn't mean we can't or don't want to or don't need to add more, right? And so this memory jogger, I know you guys can't see it, but when I email it to you, you'll be able to see it. It pretty much jogs your memory on who do I know that's in some sort of automotive, mechanical, industrial relationship. Who do I know that's in the health industry? Who do I know that's from my past life in school or my kids' schools, things like that. Who do I know that are in my industry, my profession, lenders, vendors, handymen, and it's adding those people to their to your database with their permission or without. That doesn't matter. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? Especially when you ask them or when you give them business. Because straight up, I don't know if I'm going into this now or later, but straight up, I feel that we don't have an even reciprocal relationship with lenders, right? How many people in this room give droves and droves and droves of leads to lenders and you get nothing in return? And guess what? This is what you can tell them today. My broker who told me that I might need to find a new lender because I'm not getting enough leads from you. This year, I looked at my past business straight up. Hey, this is a business, right? It's also a game. It's a negotiation, right? It's positioning. But you say, I've sent you 12, and I'd love to call someone blunder right now. Who wants to put somebody on the spot? It looks like Stephanie, because Stephanie, you raised your hand, right? Good old Ed Allen. Oh, but anyways, he's not on anymore. But I'm like, hey, yo, Ed, what's up? Hey, this is I'm calling here with Steph, and I'm looking at her past production and her past businesses here. As she's killed it, and it looks like she's giving you 13 leads, and you've only given her 13 leads over the last 13 years. That's not cool, dude. And this is what we need to do. We need to up your game and give her some referrals back, or we gotta find a different relationship, right? So, but anyways, I kind of jumped a little bit, but adding contacts to your database. Hey, I'm from by the way, some people don't know, I grew up on the east side, North High School, and that's kind of how I get a little rough around.
Shake them down.
Down. We don't play that. So that's a show from the past for the millennials that don't know that show. And then ask for referrals from A to B's, right? Like people that like you can ask them for anything. You can ask them to, help you dig a grave and bury your body, and they got you. We don't do that enough, and I'm calling it a contact exchange. And what it is like when you see people and you're like, hey, you know what, Jen, I know we know a lot of people, but I know there's some people that maybe I should know that and is it cool if I, meet up with you, I'll buy you lunch, coffee, have a drink, and maybe you just go through your contact list and just, ask if it'd be okay to meet me or introduce me. Does that sound fair? I mean, does that sound something like my mom, man, she knows so many people that I don't know, I don't have in my phone. And I look around and kind of get like a little whoa, right? Like, wow, I haven't done very much business with my sister's friends or my brother-in-law's friends or my mom's friends or my college friends and their friends. And I kind of associate this to my wife and I, she has I think 1,000 friends on her Facebook. And I did this intentionally to make sure I could share this stat with you guys. And of the 1,000 people, even though we've been together for 22, 23 years, we only have 60% of those 1,000. We share those as mutual friends. So we have 400 people, all the dance moms, these crazy ladies that drink during on the sidelines. Well, Christy's one of those, right? Not her. But anyways, but no, isn't that crazy though? How many people that are 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degrees of separation? And I actually have another class about that. Okay, but who can you help and who can help you? And that's the thing. This is the thing about businesses too. So it's not just the lenders. It's more people in the industry, and not even in the industry. It's chiropractors, dentists, doctors, new businesses in your area. You go to them, super confident. They're new members of the chamber, and you introduce yourself. You welcome them. You congratulate them on business, and you ask them, "How can I help you grow your business? What's the best way that I could spread the word of you launching the soft opening or this grand opening? Oh, and by the way, I have this thing I do to all my people, my database, and I send it out to them. Is it okay for me to include your business and introduce you? Oh, okay, awesome. Oh, and by the way, can we do the same thing for your contacts, right? And you help them do that. You co-op with them. You share resources, you share ideas, you share money, you share energy, and you go. Because all these business owners, they all want the same thing we want, right? Which is relationships and needs. Okay. All right. And then from there, oh man, guys, this is something that's kind of super PTSD for me. But when back in the day when I was getting a lot of leads, I was so busy. What's the first thing you forget to do? Person that gave you the referral, right? And it's picking up the phone, sending them a text message, writing them a handwritten note, sending them a gift card, sending them some flowers, balloons. Man, they just they trusted you enough to send you someone that they knew at work, potentially jeopardize their professional status from their kids' school, from their neighborhood. I mean, they're saying, hey, they're putting you up on a platter, right? Saying like, this is the best agent you'll ever find in this universe. And we don't do anything. Nothing. No, thank you. No. So not only do we need to do that, then we keep them updated. Thank you so much, Jeff, for that referral. And thank you so much for sending them my way. I just want to let you know, we looked at 30 houses this weekend. We wrote an offer. It was 30,000 low, but it got accepted. And, here we go. And that's a true story because I don't show a ton of houses. Some of the agents at this office thought I was crazy, but I had some first-time buyers from Milwaukee, and we tried to look at 33 houses last weekend, and we took them through 27, and we found them a house, right? And guess what? Thankfully, I was able to give a hug to my college buddy that referred him to me. I gave him the biggest hug ever and told him, hey, let's go. My treat. I'm going to take you out to top roll, right? And that's how you get more referrals. Yes.
I just want to interject one thing. Thank them for thinking of you. Don't thank them for the referral.
Yes,
because
thank
it
you.
is illegal to take them for a referral.
Thank you for thinking. Thank you for thinking of that. How's my online people doing? Anyone sleeping? Wake them up.
Just one or two.
Zap them. Okay. Anyways, where am I at? I went backwards. Okay, guys. So we are number 4. Oh, perfect. Number 4. Everybody in this room I know is on social media, and so many people think about social media and they start to cringe. Oh, social media, too much about politics or social economic issues or Russia and blah blah blah. And like, it's gotta just like drown that out. Don't even pay attention to it, because what you can do on social media, guys, is you can group the people that you want to see and focus on those individuals. You can get past the ads, the business posts, and things like that. So social media is totally a tool, guys. And so many of you, I know for sure, get a lot of business there, but how intentional and how strategic are you? And this is not just like about posting on your business page or posting listings on your personal page. You definitely want to do that. But before that, we're going to do what I call the 60. Oh, this is not up here yet, but it's on your sheet as number 4. After grouping your contacts, the second bullet there, 60, 45, 15, 5, 1. And that's 60 minutes, 60 intentional minutes on being on social media, undistracted. And then when you go through all your posts that you're seeing, you find at least 45 things that you should like, love, care about, right? And it takes you not even a second, right? You guys do that, right? And then from there, you find at least 15 of those posts to make at least a 3-word comment. That sounds so fun. Congratulations on this. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Show them some sort of thought through words. Okay, so 15 of those. And then 5, direct messages. The cool thing about like a Facebook Messenger is you can actually see who's on sometimes, right? You see that they're green. You say, hey, looks like you're also awake at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. How you doing? Or what you doing? Or what you working on? Sometimes don't ask that. They might be doing something weird. Maybe, I don't know. I'd rather not think about what the people do that. But anyways, but just, and then frame it around the whole 4 thing, right? Oh, it's awesome to see you online. Awesome to chat with you. How's family? How's occupation? How's things going? What are you working on this year? Is anything fun or exciting? And sure enough, one of my college friends I hadn't talked to for 20 years. She's like, yeah, my husband and I are thinking about building a house in Colorado. Ooh, can you help us draw up the plans? I was like, I sure can. I'll even come there to come build it, if you let me stay at your place, And so you just never know, right? So 5 direct messages. And then the 1 is super important, guys, the post. Like, we can't be secret agents, right? So when you're out and about and you're not wearing your Remax swag or your team swag or your personal logo, this and that, let's start not doing that. See some representation in the room. But when, we're on social media, now we don't want to kill people with business, right? So that's why I got this slide up next. And please take a picture of it. But again, I'll send it to you guys. But we call it the 80-20 rule. 80% of what you post once a day, or at least, and if you're not, I'm not saying post every day, but post every other day, right? 80% though, got to be personal. And then 20% definitely needs to be professional. And the reason why we got that ratio is when you watch TV shows like HGTV and you're watching, them doing the house and fixing and painting this and that, 80% of that 30 minutes is the show, right? How do they pay for that show? 20 minutes, 20%. 20% is the commercial. So we do 80% personal, 20 professional on our posts. And whatever, it doesn't need to be exactly that, but whatever ratio that is, like 2 personal, 1 professional, 3 personal, 2 professional, whatever that is, do it your way. But the key thing about the professional one though, is to try to do something that sells a story of what you guys are working on, what you're doing. And I know for sure that you guys all have done, I'm looking at this room, I can't even point anyone out because so many of you guys do such great jobs. Like, oh my gosh, my brand new shoes just got muddy because I had to walk through and do a new construction inspection, or check out this super cool, widget that we found in the basement. I have no idea what it does, but, or look at this beautiful living room, or check out this amazing view, or doing an inspection today and we found out this home had this. So this is a public service announcement that if you have this in your home, or if you know anyone that has this, you should, take a look at that and call my person, right? And so that's the 20% of professionals. Buyer needs, I've done it. I do a lot of testing, guys, for you all, but like, you have a buyer coming in town and, you know that it's going to be really hard to find them that perfect home. Take a picture of them with their permission, of course. Say, hey, this family's moving to town and just want to see if anyone would like them to be their neighbor because this is what we're looking for. They're looking for this area. Of course, we got to be fair housing and this and that, right? Can't zero them. But anyway, so think about how you can story sell what we get to do as real estate agents, okay? And then when we go to the personal though, like, give, inspire, share, help, educate, entertain, inform. Do things that are funny, cute, engaging, and nothing polarizing though, please. I mean, I know everyone's got their opinions on certain things, but you got to kind of tone that down just a notch, right? Because it isn't like, a place to do that when we're we as public figures and working with the public, okay? So when I say inform, oh man, Top Golf is having its first day open October 5th. If you'd like to join me. Or just heard that there's a new Freddy Fingers opening up on Grand Prairie Parkway. That's information. I mean, the media outlet is a quick, sharing of something from ACCI or whatever. Engaging to you guys. I don't know if you guys are on different groups within your community, but I know like I'm in like an Ankeny group and an Altoona group and a Waukee group. I know who's on the Waukee page. Talk about coyotes all the time. Talking about like too many Starbucks being open, just wines. But anyway, I guess who's on there? That's just heckling him, like just trolling him. Tyler Osby, and I love it. He's like on there, just trolling people and posting and commenting, and you know what? That me as his friend, that puts him on the top of my head, right? So social media is a tool that we should all leverage in these ways. But yeah, any questions there before we keep going? Keep going. All right, open houses. I have a 1-page cheat sheet coming soon, but I tell this story not to be boastful, but to just tell you the power of open houses is real. When I was first in real estate, my rookie year, I did open houses every weekend, sometimes Saturday and Sunday. And when I track back my business that year, 70% of my business came from strangers, people that I had never ever met before. And I had a process because I've been in sales of taking them through like, developing rapport, understanding their mindset, demonstrating how I can help them, asking them questions, trial closes, just kind of taking them and I would give a value statement to them and say, you know what, guys, it's been great talking with you because I asked them a question. Are you working with an agent? And they'd say, actually we're not. Well, this is what I would tell you. Hey, I would love to be your agent. But either way, I would highly recommend you work with an agent just because this is how this process works. So you educate them, right? And oh, by the way, I have some information that you could have. I printed off some for people just like you to take. And this is just some tips on buying your home. These are some recommendations I have for different vendors that I work with. And then, by the way, like guys, I am in the business to help people buy homes, but I'm not in the business of forcing people or persuading people or being pushy to sell you to buy a house. So whether it's you look at 5 houses, 15 houses, 500 houses, doesn't matter. I will help you look at so many houses, and I would never ever tell you to buy a home unless I wouldn't buy that home myself, given your same situation. And guess what? I would be able to work with them, and we'd have a lot of fun, and I'd build a great relationship. So open houses work. We should time block them. We still definitely need to have that work-life balance, but that's where we also need to be in harmony with the other things that are going on. Know that we got to make hay when the sun shines, and that's when people are out and about is Sunday open houses are just a thing in our industry, right? So cheat sheets coming soon on that. Talked about that one already. I forget what those links are. Oh, yeah, that's my video. Hold on 1 second. Before we do the video, we're gonna go back on my sheet, and then number 6, develop a neighborhood farming community takeover strategy. So how many people are just completely embedded in their community? They're the go-to realtor. You're pretty much the mayor of your town. Like everyone calls you or sees your name or your face at every event. Does anyone do that? Has anyone gone to a community and seen an agent that has done that? Because I know I have. You go to Nevada, Iowa, you see Mark Olson's team everywhere. That's one of our agents. You go to Polk City, you see Shane and the Taurus team all over the place. You go to Valley High School Stadium, and I see my friend Gina Swanson's picture and face on things, right? And so what I want to make sure that we do is really be a representative, a real estate ambassador to the communities that we live in, right? So that they know that you're the go-to agent when any new listing, any new pending, any new sale is coming up. And then also, though, they see you at every event. They see you at the homecoming parades. They see you at the Halloween stuff. They see your brand. They see your logo everywhere, okay? And so we call it Core 4 to 24, 4 things our agents focus on to generate at least 24 transactions a year. And one of those things is farming and community. But I'm taking it one extra step, because farming and community, when a lot of people think about that, it's like just sending out mailers, right? Sending out market updates, which you totally should do. Sending out the just listed, just sold, your open houses and things like that. So, but what's the farming worth when there's not a face and a brand and a reputation and a brokerage behind that? And so just think about it like you're running for office in that town, and you know that you can be the best mayor, the best sheriff, the best whatever in that area. And so we are here to just be that community ambassador, be that community cheerleader, be that community connector. And actually, you know what? One person that does a great job that's not here is that in Prairie Trail is Danielle Seifert. I mean, I can go to Prairie Trail and see her riding around her little golf cart with her logo on it. I mean, see it just everywhere you go. Everyone knows who she is, even though they've never met her, right? And so that's the brand that you guys want to build. And I'm not saying the whole town, like West Des Moines, where I live, that's a big town. So start with your neighborhood, start with your HOA, start with your subdivision, start with your school district, and just be that person. And not just because we want to be always talking about business, because they'll run away from us, right, when we have commission rep. But we're talking about life, we're talking about fun things, we're talking about activities. Try not to gossip about, Susie, Doozy, or whatever, but just, definitely, just be in the know that, okay, this is going on at the school, and you guys know about this, we're voting on this, we're doing that. And all of a sudden, they're going to relate your personality and your brand to your business. Okay. All right. We're going to flip the page. All right, here we go. Invest in paid social media ads. So anyone do, actually, you know what, guys? I don't know if I wrote down the stats. But we see some certain things that get boosted from different angles, and it works, guys. And I don't know if anyone likes my page. It's a shameless plug for my home building company, Dreamscape. But this video that I did here, that I shared. Are you? I ended up, Cameron and Mike Dunn told me about an app called Video Leap. And I think it's like $100 and some bucks a year. And I uploaded the video, and I was just playing around with it. Next thing you know, I edited this video because I wanted to post it before an open house. I got, actually, by the way, this is 5031 150th Street in Urbandale. Had it on the market for more than a year now, so it's burned a hole in my pocket. Dropped it down to like 7 1/4. It was motivating.
I got to sell their house first though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know about them. So anyways, so this is one of those next level things that, that I know a lot of you guys are doing, but we got to investing in your business, spend some dollars on social media. Sometimes you can boost things for 5, 15, 20 bucks, and it goes a long way. And then also I've seen some some businesses where they like say, hey, share this post, you know, and be entered into for a drawing, and next thing you know, it gets shared a bunch of times. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that's how I built up my Facebook and Instagram page like 14 some years ago for my home building company. We've got like 8,000 plus likes on it because we were asking people to like it and share it and incenting them. So think about how you can do that with your listings, your buyers, videos. And hey, guess what? Oh, I don't have any great listings to do that with. I don't know if you've seen a lot of agents that are, you know, especially the millennial agents that are going to some of the great listings that you have, and next thing you know, they get permission, of course, like, hey, do you mind if I do a reel based on, you know, in the kitchen or in the area and this and that? And it's huge, guys. Video is so important. And so now we got to do it, commit to it, and then spend a little bit of money to boost them. Okay. All right, let's keep going. We're on to number 8. Contact 10 to 20 lead sources such as expired for sale by owners. And I'm not saying, guys, we need to do this. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm just saying, like, if you're humming along and business is good and you don't need to add any more things, don't do this. But what I am saying is if you have the time, the energy to commit and you need some more business, this is totally like a treasure trove. This is a wealth of opportunities. I've seen a lot of agents in our company and outside of our company do this very well. And so it's just prospecting people that are wanting to sell their homes or have tried to sell their homes. And it's not like we're trying to sell them over the phone, you know, to get that listing. All we're doing is we're trying to reach out to them and say, hey, are you still thinking about selling your home or still wanting to sell your home? I want to introduce myself. My name's Meksay. I'm a local real estate broker here in the market, and my brokerage and myself personally, even we have some buyers. And all we're just wondering is, are you willing to pay a buyer's agent fee of X%? And it's a yes, no answer. And we can actually send that as a direct message. Is it through like Zillow or forsobyowner.com, right? Or even a mailer, a little letter, or even a door hanger. I've done that before too. Like, I don't know if you guys have done this. You're driving with some buyers and you know, you've already kind of planted that, you know, foundation with them. It's like, I can help you with anything. For sale by owner, next generation, blah, blah, blah. And we stop at that for sale by owner and say, hey, you know, that's kind of a cute house. Let me just, you know, because I have a system, right? I had a system back when I used to do it. And then you would just get out of the car, go up to the door, do a knock, or if you don't want to knock, you just do a little door hanger. If you have a little thing, you can just leave in the door and just say, hey, I just saw your house, and I think it's, you know, either you have a handwritten note or something that looks like a handwritten note that you printed and made multiple copies of. So I drove by your house with my clients, and we would be interested. If you ever thought about selling, please give me a call. And I remember back, like, this was like I said, 10, 12 years ago when I was actively selling, 10% of my business came from this type of prospecting. And I wasn't fearless. I was not fearless because I needed the business, right? We were rolling out of the recession. And so the expired, the cool thing that we didn't have then that you guys have now is forewarn, right? And we can forewarn people's, you know, numbers, right? And it's one of those things, we gotta be careful. And I'm not trying to be like all FTC and tell you guys all the rules right now, but we just have to be mindful in how we use those services. But we do have to, you know, kind of think outside the box sometimes and say, hey, you know, I saw that you have this home listed. And especially, guys, if it's a concepts agent, please kind of stay in your lane. But if it's an agent that's out of business or retired or whatever, hey, you know, those people need help. Think about this as a service to their you know, orphan clients, right? And say, hey, by the way, you know, and go and actually reverse prospect. I know I get emails from time to time from listing agents that see if I've had a search tab. I don't have a ton of searches, but we can reverse prospect to people that have, you know, bought a home 5 to 7 years ago. There's actually companies that we can pay to scrub that info for us, but you can actually go back and say, you know what, I have a ready, willing, and able buyer. I call this a client compound strategy if you guys feel like this sounds familiar, but I have a ready, willing, and able buyer that is looking for a home that meets a lot of what you're looking for. I'm not sure if you're interested in selling, and I'm not sure what your number is, but if you do have any interest at all, I can totally help you. What's that, 10 minutes? Oh, dang, this one went fast. Shoot, I'm only a third of the way through. Thank you. Okay, we'll fly 10 minutes. I got this. Were you able to see that thing I shared? If not, it's okay. Oh, you can't pull that. Okay. This will be a little teaser then, guys. Number 9. Number 9 is create a monthly email newsletter. I swear by this. Like I called it a newsletter for those that haven't heard that. Me say that before, but what I did is I created a real estate newsletter that was not just about real estate. It was a little personal update. It was a little tip or trick or, you know, something about life or their home or whatever. Then it was something about the community, and there was something about my business and thanking them for reading, referring me stuff. And I would send that out once a month. But then in part of my newsletter, I would send out a client appreciation drawing that all they needed to do was respond saying they wanted to be entered in that drawing. And I sometimes I ask them for a review or, just some sort of feedback, this and that. And then that just gave me more reasons to keep engaging with them, right? But that, like I said earlier, the database that we're talking about you guys cultivating, that is the number one easiest thing that you can do to really strengthen that relationship and be on top of their mind, right? And it's super cost effective. And I guess what I was saying as far as a teaser goes, so Creative Concepts and through KB Core, you can build newsletters, but it does take a little bit of time and energy for us to do that ourselves. So I know some of you guys know that I have a referral marketing company that I bought a few years ago called Referral Squirrel. And so we're actually going to be launching pretty soon a newsletter. Okay. Host client appreciation events. Anyone? Raise your hand if you've done one and you love doing it. Okay. So they work, and they're just another way of top of mind awareness, just another way of giving back to your people, to your community, another way to create some sort of social interaction that the whole world needs, right? And it's an awesome way to partner with your brands to share in the cost. It's a great way to utilize our offices. All of our offices, guys, are available for you guys to do these client appreciation events. You can totally buddy up with your fellow agents. We see agents do that all the time and have different events and plan them out. And they don't have to be super expensive. When I used to do client appreciation events, I spent $400, $500 and have a bunch of fun. And guess what? You invite your whole database and maybe 5-10% show up. That's okay, because you just need a few to have good conversations with, spend some good time with. I know Soli and Bopa up here had one at the Grand Mansion, and you guys had, some rolled ice cream, and it's just another gesture of giving of your time and your energy back to your people, and they love it. And so budget some money, budget some time, try to do those at least once, if not twice, if not easily. Okay. And we got 5 minutes. Let's keep going. Optimize your website for lead generation. I won't go in this too much just because this is totally like something that we can help you through Creative Concepts in Madison. KB Core's got so many bells and whistles, guys, that you guys can just, put some buyer downloads, some infographics, things like that. We should be using our websites. Bull Trip. The new name of it's called Bull Trip now. But we should be using our websites as a spot to generate traffic. And by doing that, we're sharing that socially directly. Okay. Keep going. We talked about videos earlier. Networking events. How many people make it part of their time blocking, part of their weekly necessity to go to different events, whether it's personal, industry related, community related? I'm hearing and seeing this. That's awesome. And there's so many ways to find these events, guys. You go on Facebook and look up events. You go to LinkedIn. You go to the chamber. Subscribe to the chamber emails. And then what else was I going to say? Oh, Eventbrite. Eventbrite. We use Eventbrite for our events. And when I'm on there looking at our events, I'm seeing people posting events too. And a lot of times, guys, they just want bodies there, and the hosts are willing to just talk and network with everybody and anybody, of course. And all of a sudden, we're there supporting them and showing up, and just another great way to, build your business. Okay, number 14 is develop partnerships with local real estate pros and businesses. We kind of talked about this earlier. Duct cleaning, creating a vendor list. I'd love to see you all have a preferred vendor list. I know some of you do, but just back to that memory jogger thing that I showed you guys, who do you know that's your go-to duct cleaning, house cleaning, handyman, lawn, snow, auto, pet person? And you make that list and you promote the heck out of them, and then you tell them that you're doing that. And next thing you know, you ask them to maybe put your name on their same list, and it's just, a rising tide lifts all ships, right? So, and then also call them out. I mean, I'm not trying to be so aggressive with what I said earlier, but kind of am really hey, we're in a relationship, and it's not a two-way relationship, and I'm the one that's giving. I'm gonna find another you that's hungry and more reciprocal of my business, because there's not just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 lenders out there, right, guys? There's a bunch, Okay. Number 15, just sold, just listed. This is something actually we're going to add. I'm not sure when, but we're going to add this as an easier way for you guys to do based on the great feedback we got. And so when you get a new listing or you need to have a new sale, your ACR is going to reply back to you and say, hey, would you like a just listed, a just sold, a new, whatever thing? And you click on a link and order it away. But that, again, that works doing, we call it circle mailing, right? And you mail to like the closest 25, 50 people in the community, and back to building your name and your brand in that area where you already have a testimony, right? You already have an endorser that says, yeah, this I picked out of all 2,000 agents, I picked, you know, Andrew, and Andrew's my guy, and all of a sudden you're just megaphoning, amplifying that decision. Okay. Let's see here. Build online reviews and testimonials. Amazon's, Yelp, Rotten Tomatoes, Google reviews. We all use reviews to buy product, right? Before we go to see a movie, before we spend any time on something, we go to see what the reviews are. And if you don't have at least 50 reviews, and for those that haven't been in business to have 50 reviews, that's okay. But shoot for that goal. But try to have at least 50 reviews, people that say some awesome things about you, and then that way, that next wave of buyer. Or you can say, hey, you know what? You know, 1 degree of separation. You know, Susie wrote this great review about me, and you look at her mutual friends, like, hey, would you mind if I share and tag this with you? And next thing you know, it's just one more way of kind of going viral and spreading your name and your face and your brand. Okay, use your CRM for lead nurturing. That's part of the system stuff that we talked about earlier. Level Up. If you haven't, guys, looked at Level Up, something that we're providing for you guys free, at no charge whatsoever. It's a really cool system. It's slick. You know, we can help you import, export, organize all your contacts into that, and then nurturing those individuals, because someday, sometime they'll probably buy or sell, or know someone that's buying or selling. So create some sort of, you know, campaign drip thing in there. Oh, this is something that I really want to focus on for us as a brokerage to help you guys in 2025, and that's hosting home buyer and home seller workshops. Being that expert agent that knows if your son or your daughter or your college friend is going to be buying a home, I have all the information on all the first-time home buyer programs, all the grants, all the best loan options out there. I know the market. I know all the different steps. Or if you're thinking about selling for the first time, I've got some workshops, some Zooms, some video online stuff that I'll be doing, and creating those once as a system with the content, which, like I said, I want to help you guys do, and then just essentially just picking a time, a date to promote it and be there, nurture those leads. That's awesome. I know we got 1 more minute, but about this, guys, I'll just highlight real quickly. Follow up with past clients. Again, that's something just part of your routines is like, who haven't I talked to that I've helped within the last 90 days plus? Share and create local market reports. That's important. Talked about the expired earlier. We talked about targeted drip campaigns, kind of. Network with fellow real estate agents. That's one of the reasons why I post on our first to know is like, who's got any upcoming buy or upcoming listings or sell buyer needs, because we have so many people within our network that we are always looking for something, and what a better way to show value to your people. Say, hey, I got some stuff that no one else outside of our brokerage knows about, and we've got 400 some agents that are always sharing and thinking about those things. So networking, creating that value too, because if you're a newer agent and you don't know how to maybe do something that's a little bit more complicated in real estate, like trust or a land deal or this and that, partner with that experienced agent, and vice versa. If you're an experienced agent, you've got an abundance of leads, work out a referral deal with a newer agent. But creating those relationships with each other is super important. A strong online presence. I will tell you guys, one of the things that really makes me cringe is when I'm getting a friend request from somebody that's a real estate agent, and I go to their about, because I have no idea who they are, and I have no idea that they're a real estate agent. I don't see it in the post. I don't see it in their about. I was like, why should I accept your Facebook friend request? And I look at the mutual friends. It's all a bunch of real estate agents, right? So don't be that agent. So your people that are looking you up when you're clicking and posting and liking, they're like, oh, those people look kind of cool. Who and what do they do? They go to you and they probably have 5 seconds to see who you are, and they don't know what you do, and then kind of wasted that click, right? But also like being active, if you have the time and the energy, being active on Zillow, Trulia, on Realtor.com, and even on Reddit, answering like real estate questions or even just local questions in general with your real estate knowledge. I think that's a huge opportunity to maximize your exposure there. And then 25, maximize your time and energy. We talked about that. 26, improve your conversation, your conversion scripts. So like, it's a lot of role playing too, guys, in real estate. Like, don't just practice on your clients. Talk to yourself in the mirror, talk to your friends and your family members. Know what to say when they ask you that question. How's the market? How's it like being a seller right now? How's it like being a buyer right now? What's the best way to negotiate a deal? How's the best way to sell my house? You know, because that, you know, showing your confidence, showing that you care, showing your enthusiasm, showing your expertise, that's going to get you the deal. And if you don't, if you want to buy a list from yourself, and or if you ask your spouse, your family, or your dad, or your mom, like, hey, would you buy a house for me? And they say no. Well, guess what? I think we should work with that, right? We should totally work with that. So, all right, guys, I know we're running out of time. So, hey, and remember that we have so many tools and tech features. Technology will never replace the real estate agent, but the agent that doesn't use technology in a smart way will get replaced by those agents with tech. And learn how to leverage, build habits, learn new skills. One of the best new skills, or not new skills, but one of the best skills to get better at, I feel like this next year, especially with the EBA stuff, especially with just how kind of weird the markets have been with certain things, is negotiation, right? How do you negotiate your own commission and not drop it? How do you negotiate get commission from somebody that doesn't know who you are? How do you negotiate the best for your buyers and your sellers? How are you, you know, what's your poker face look like? How are you negotiating? How firm can you be? You know, what kind of questions and phrases you ask? And that's a whole class in itself that I can go on and on about. And last two things, okay, develop leadership. There's so many times, guys, we're just like not sure where to do, what to do, where to go. We have paralysis by analysis, and it's because we're not leading ourselves. We're not like truly knowing like the vision, the mission, the goals that we're sitting on, and then that in turn doesn't make us great leaders for our family and our community. And so I think all of us, including myself, including this country, could use better leadership, right? And so really look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, what do I need to do to be a leader that people follow and look up to and will need? Okay, so improve on your leadership skills. And last but not least, make 2025 your WOA year. This is a new acronym. You know, guys, I like my acronym, but work over worry, organization over overwhelmingness, activity over anxiety, and hope over helplessness. And I think that's all I got, because we're out of time.
3 C's credits.